I decided to get in contact with Chris because I I'd put on quite a bit of weight during lockdown. I put on nearly a stone, just because it's busy starting a new business and looking after a kid and not having the same responsibilities. Um, I think that what had happened is my sort of motivation, my desire for exercise had reduced to the point where I just wasn't doing it. And my diet had taken a turn. It had become very convenient because of all the other responsibilities I was carrying, really. What had I tried before to sort of lose weight is that I tried to guilt myself into it. I tried to tell myself, that I wasn't doing good enough, or look at pictures from myself when I first got married, and be like, look, you don't look like that anymore. You need to get there, and sort of guilt myself into it, or go into quite like extreme. Right, I won't have breakfast. I'll just have fruit for lunch, and then I'll have a smaller dinner each day for the next 6 months. And you have this like quite bizarre plan in place that just doesn't work. You might do that for a day, and then you get hangry the next day, and it was making me feel frustrated with myself, because I felt like obviously I had a responsibility to my family, and I had a responsibility to the business. Do you know what I mean? To look healthy and to be healthy and to just be performing at my peak, and it wasn't happening. So it made me feel frustrated. It felt like an unobtainable goal. Probably 6 months up to that point. That's when I kind of accepted that I was hitting that stone over my weight before. And it wasn't a huge increase, but it was showing in all the right places. It was, and so it was about 6 months I've been trying this, and it just hit a point where I realized I need accountability, really. And it's not so much me motivating myself. I need some accountability. I need some guidance, some education from somebody who knows what they're talking about. I was waking up with less energy. My wife and I had been sort of plant-based vegetarian for quite a while, and my energy had picked up, which was good. Even though we had a kid waking us up in the morning, my energy had picked up. But when that diet, still even vegetarian, but just convenience and fast food and cheese and that sort of thing, I found that my energy just was very low in the morning. It's very lethargic. And I found that my ability to concentrate on work was the periods of productivity were shorter, and just you feel kind of irritable, and just you feel because you're not happy within yourself. You feel like you're not doing what you should. You just feel kind of irritable and not in a good mood. I was thinking that, that I'd be set some kind of unattainable exercise schedule, or that there would be diet plans of things that I just don't enjoy eating, or that, because I get a lot of joy from food, and I think that's important in life. It's one of me and my wife's sort of great joys is food. So the idea of having a diet plan of just something that's not enjoyable day in, day out, I thought that wouldn't be sustainable. The difference with Chris's program compared to what I'd expected was that it didn't really feel like much of a change to my life at all, because it was week by week. It was these small changes. It was these little lifestyle changes, these little behavior changes, and it felt like a mate just calling up and giving you some advice and helping you with this. But the results were fantastic. I didn't lose exactly the amount that I thought I was going to lose in quite an extreme way, but I lost enough to feel comfortable on the video by the time that deadline came. But more than that, I felt confident within myself that it's okay, you know, and it felt sustainable. So after completing this 12-week program with Chris, I feel very confident within myself, just about myself. You know, it's not about guilt. I've lost that sense of guilt around food. My relationship with food has changed a lot. So I'm just more conscious, and I'm more motivated to make those little changes, to maintain a healthy lifestyle while still enjoying food and still having, you know, treats, and still sharing things with my wife which are enjoyable, and not having that sort of dictatorship over food from myself, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not being super strict with myself all the time. It's just these little changes that have stayed with me, and that's one thing I'm really happy about, is that, you know, way beyond the course, I'm still putting those changes in place. I'm still enjoying my food. You know, I actually want to exercise, which was a big surprise for me, because that motivation had disappeared completely. I think since having a kid, to be honest, that motivation to exercise, because you're so tired from the start, that motivation had gone completely. So to get that back, you know, I'm not hitting the gym 9 times a week, but I've got sustainable exercise within my routine that fits my lifestyle. So what I like from working with Chris is just his approach towards it. Like I say, I was imagining, or one thing I was worried about is this kind of drill sergeant attitude that I've seen from other, you know, maybe Instagram or social media personal trainers sort of thing, and it just doesn't work for me. I kind of recoil from that, so because it's so different to my personality. So I really enjoyed working with Chris because the results were there, but it was relaxed. It was a chilled atmosphere. Like I say, it's like talking to a mate, just having a chat. I like that it went deeper than just the exercise and the diet. It went into motivations to eat unhealthily and motivations to eat healthily, and finding out sort of the root cause for each of those things. I'd say just get in touch and have a chat with him. You know, you'll soon get on. You'll realize that he knows what he's talking about. He's got a great background, which means that he's got a great deal of experience. He knows what he's talking about, and yeah, you'll really enjoy it. If you're the kind of person who, like me, you know, you are quite chilled. You're not looking for this kind of heavy-handed drill sergeant extreme sort of personal training. You're just looking for somebody to support you, to be in your corner, to have your back, and to educate you and to help you through that in a sort of very friendly and chilled way. Massively recommend Chris. He's a great guy for that. Really happy with the results. You know, I'd highly recommend him to anyone. That's done. I felt really confident. You know, I was wearing t-shirts. I wasn't worried about how I looked on camera, and that was a great result for me. So in terms of that goal that I had, that was a great result. But life is very different for me now in terms of, like I said, my relationship with food, my relationship with exercise has changed completely. It feels sustainable. It feels like something that wasn't in my life before, you know, before I started with Chris, because I'd lost that motivation to exercise. Well, since exercising more and since eating more healthily generally throughout the week, that means that I am waking up with more energy. That means that I do feel more motivated. I'm starting earlier in the day. I am feeling more productive. It's funny because I do work in quite a problem-solving and creative kind of job. I find that silly things like the ideas are flowing easier, and my ability to articulate and bring those ideas to life, it's a quicker process than before. It felt like my brain was full of cheese before. It felt like a really sluggish process, which it probably was, to be fair. But that has changed completely. It feels quicker, it feels more intuitive, and just more energy across the board, really. Is there anything I'd like to say to Chris? Yeah, what I said to Chris before was just a huge thank you for the help with that, and for making it such a straightforward and easy process, for making it something that's sustainable, for like giving me the appropriate amount of guilt where it's like I'm not completely let off the hook, because you know you need that level of accountability, but I never felt pressured. I never felt like he was disapproving, or like there was some weird parent-child relationship going on. It just felt really chilled, exactly what I needed, got me into the mindset that I needed. And so yeah, huge thanks to Chris for that, definitely.